Let's talk today about how to improve as an average player. Now, just understand that yes, this is a Fortune's Keep gameplay breakdown, but these things really apply to both Rebirth and Fortune's Keep. Now, today we're going to be doing another community member gameplay review, and as always, first things first, if you want to have your gameplay reviewed, go ahead and check the pinned comment down below. I have a link to join my Discord as well as instructions on how to submit. Now, today we're going to be breaking down gameplay here from Hellcat, who is a 1.2 KD player, so yes, he is above average. The average KD is around 8.94, but there's still a lot of things that we can learn from him, specifically around his decision making. It's one of the biggest areas that he says he struggles with that I want to pay attention to. Now, starting off right here with early game. Now, right here, you're going to see his indecisiveness with floor loot, and it's a place that I think a lot of you struggle, constantly thinking about, do I want this gun or do I want this gun? And that's a place that the average players get caught lacking a little bit. You get caught out in the open and you end up going down. You can see this when we play at full speed, just how long it takes him to make the decision about what gun he wants to use. And he actually second guesses himself right about here when he grabs the Garand. He's gonna grab that, and then he's gonna go, no, maybe I do want the, no, I don't want it. So that's where we start to really need to pay attention to what gun do you feel most comfortable with. That allows you to have better awareness in your early game, pick up a few more kills, and get your loadout down. Now, this is kind of the second thing that I want to talk about, which is going to be your cover. Right here, he does a great job of paying attention to his minimap. He hears people shooting, which is where a lot of average players struggle. You hear people shooting, but you don't look at your minimap to see where they actually are. So he's going to catch this red dot right here, and he's going to go ahead and see what he can find. The mistake that he makes is he is very out in the open right here. Look at everywhere that he can get shot from. He can get shot from this building where the teams are fighting. He can get shot from tower, to his right, back behind him if he missed somebody, to his left. There's a lot of different places that he can get shot from, and he's kind of caught in no man's land a little bit. So we need to constantly be aware of our cover. And yes, that applies to both Rebirth and Fortune's Keep, but way more important on Fortune's Keep. Now let's talk about this next play right here. He's going to call in the precision airstrike. I don't hate that play. He's going to end up getting the kill, so it works out for him. Here's the problem, though. You give away your location for something that may or may not happen. We know precision airstrikes aren't really the most consistent, but at the end of the day, you are giving away your location. Sweaty players are able to act upon that information because you pop up as a red dot when you call that in, and are able to then act on that and get the kill on you. So we need to really be careful about using those and when we can strategically use those. Now, right here, he is a console player. So got to keep your distance. He's able to hip fire a little bit. He's able to get that kill. So far, 2 kills, 42 other people, still a really good lobby. Real quick, as we are still looting up here, if you are looking to get better at Rebirth or Fortune's Keep, just consider subscribing down below. I'm a 4 KD player and do videos every single day, just trying to help people improve. I primarily do Rebirth videos, but I am trying to mix in more Fortune's Keep videos as well. Now, once again here, when we talk about the average player, you really struggle to use your minimap, and you really need to work on that. Once again, right here, he's going to hear shooting over to his right, and he's going to catch this dot right here, at which point he acts upon that information. And what I will say is I think Hellcat's an above average player because of his aim and movement. He is a classic case of the bell curve, where aim and movement's the most important thing. Then we start talking about decision making, gameplay strategy, and all that stuff, which is where he struggles. Now, in this moment right here, just don't rush, right? You're gonna third party this situation. There's obviously 2 people fighting in the top of church. Don't rush this situation, because what's gonna happen is he's gonna auto mantle right here, and now he's not able to third party this. So just don't rush this. Take your time and go ahead, jump on the ledge, be able to get into this window, and then you can pick up an easy kill because they're doing damage to each other. You just get the cleanup. The other thing I want to talk about is, as an average player with your movement, why do you auto mantle right here? Why does he auto mantle? The reason is because when you go to jump on the ledge, you have your left stick push forward, which is your auto tack sprint, or at least you should have auto tack sprint on to help you with your movement. That is why you auto mantle in these situations. You have to be very careful about not having your left stick push forward so that you're not caught in a tack sprint. You want to just jump up and then go ahead and jump through the window. So just be really careful. That's why you auto tack sprints. Now, right here, what I want to focus on is his late. Once he breaks this guy, look at his aim. Notice how his aim falls off right there. That's where aim and movement's the easiest thing to work on and is to, really get better at. Notice how he starts off really good. He's able to hit a lot of high damage areas, but look at where his shots are right here. That is what separates a 1 from a 2 from a 4 KD player, is how consistently can you hit those high damage areas. And the answer is, it's very simple to get better. As always, I leave that video down in the comments below on my warm-up on how to get better aim and movement as well. Now, in this moment, we've got a lot going on because this is just the pace that he's playing at. This is where we talk about Fortune's Keep. We've got 4 main POIs, right? We've got Town, we've got Keep, we've got Winery, we got Grotto. And each of those areas has a different pace of play. Town is going to be kind of the quickest, in my opinion, just because of the close quarters. It's most similar to Rebirth. But in this moment right here, this is where I think a lot of you struggle, is that he's in the action right here. There's people fighting above him. He obviously just got this down. So when you're in this moment, I always call it do not panic, right? Don't panic in this situation, but all he has to do is kind of slow down for a half second. He can replate and then re-engage this fight. Average players and above average players really struggle with re-engaging in fights because they don't have the confidence. At the end of the day, me as a player right here in this moment, I have full plates. I'm good on ammo. I know that there's people in church. So now I'm going to go ahead and push back over that way and just make sure I'm anticipating those players. And then I'm able to get those kills, right? I'm going to rely on my anticipation, aim, and movement. I already know that they are in there based on the previous minimap ping. So there's no reason to pull all the way back here. This is the difference where he all of a sudden, he's able to get that kill because of his aim right there. But all of a sudden, when we go back to this church situation, you're taking yourself out of opportunities to get more kills. When we talk about dropping a 20 bomb, which is what I want everybody to do. I want you to drop a 20 bomb, and then I want you to start working on dropping more 20 bombs. When we talk about dropping 20, we need that many opportunities. So he just lost out on maybe an opportunity or two to get a kill simply because he over-rotated too far away and never actually re-engaged when he knew there were people there. Instead, he pulled back over here, and once again, he gets the kill right above here, so it ends up being okay, but he could have potentially had more kills based on the information that he had before. I feel really good about this video so far. I know I'm talking really fast. I feel really passionate about this one because I think it's, when we talk about dropping 20 kills, it's doable for anybody, especially with the lobby. You got one over to your right. By the way, he's going to make a major mistake here in a second. Major mistake that too many of you make. Too many of you make 2 mistakes. So he's going to be able to get this kill right here. Once again, executes on his aim and movement. That's where I talk about he is an above average player. He's able to get away, and he's in solo, so he's executing well. When you buy, first of all, you got to pay attention to your cash flow. Too many of you are just not paying attention to your cash flow, whether it's buying a loadout, whether it's buying a UAV, no matter what it is, you're not paying attention. But the mistake that he also makes, he runs around with this thing for so long right here. And I don't know what his thought process was. You know what his thought process is? I have to put this in the perfect location, which just isn't the case, because if you die, which on Fortune's Keep and Rebirth can happen at any point in time, you are going to lose that loadout drop. Just throw the loadout drop down. And I'll give you another great example in terms of Rebirth. How many of you are in control or in a building and you're like, I gotta throw this on the roof, so I've got to push in, I've got to throw a rooftop? I'd almost rather it not be on the rooftop, because at the end of the day, that's where people love to sit. So instead of just trying to be perfect with this, just throw it right here. Throw it right anywhere in this courtyard area, over to the left by the ladder. Throw it anywhere, get your loadout down, at which point you can land on it. He's even going to go back and buy a UAV, which is a good play, but like, just get that loadout down, and he waits forever. He's not going to get it down for another minute. He's actually starting to think about pushing people right here while he has his loadout in pocket. So big mistake right there that we want to learn from is just throw that loadout down and you can grab it at any point in time. Even if you feel super comfortable, I'll give you another great example. We now have the personal supply boxes, right? Where you grab your loadout guns. So maybe by chance you have your loadout guns, you have, you know, a stim and a throwing knife because you picked it up off the floor loot. You don't have to grab a loadout that you buy. You can throw your loadout down, and all of a sudden in this moment, if you were to have your loadout guns and throw it down, you've got this loadout down that you threw, you've got this loadout down over this way, and all of a sudden your regain process is so much easier. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially with those personal supply drops. As always in solos, we're going to have players who aren't as good. This is a player right here. I have no idea what this guy was doing. Whatever, you know, we'll take the kill. It is what it is. That's just solos for you. Solos, you're going to have a wide variance of players. You're going to have players who aren't good at all. You're going to have some sweaty players. Let's go ahead and so that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get all the way to high ground to throw his loadout. That puts him in a very susceptible position to, you know, end up dying. He could have died right there in that moment and completely lost his loadout. 6 kills, 29 other people. He's able to execute right here. He's able to get that down in thirst. Good play. Now he's got 3,100, so not enough for a UAV. So let's start talking about the next piece of information that we have. So far, don't really have anything, although I'll tell you exactly where I would push. Did I get... Okay, I don't know if this is, I think this is a dot. So I think this is somebody fighting over here. So I'm going to go ahead and explore this, right? I'm going to go ahead and play this little ledge right here, or play this little rock formation, and just act on this information that I have, and then go ahead and see what's happening over there. Still being cognizant of my cover, still being aware that there's a lot of people around here, right? We knew from the UAV that there are. That's exactly what he's going to do. Now here's shooting over that way. There's no mini-map pings, right? But this is where we start to use our audio cues to understand that people are at least around us, and you can go explore this. So even though that there's no, whether it's SMGs, Vanguard SMGs being run with subsonic, or maybe it's an SMG being run with a silencer, whatever that case may be, you know, you don't exactly get the minimap pings, so you don't know exactly where they are, but you at least can act on the information that they are over there. Now he's got one flying in right here. Let's go ahead and see what he can do. Give me the snipe. Just can't hit it. So now I would go act on that information. I would 100% go act on that and go rotate over there. And one of two things is going to happen when you do this. When you rotate over that direction, one of two things is going to happen. Either you get to that person and you can go challenge, or at some point along the way, you're going to run into another person. You're going to hear shooting. You're going to be able to third party. You're going to hear footsteps. You're going to hear something that you can now engage that person instead of the person originally flying in. Let's go ahead and see what he does. He's checking, trying to see what he can find. Now, I would not grab this loadout right here. Keep this loadout up just in case you regain. And I don't know if he does or not, but keep that loadout up just in case you regain. Oh, he gets shot in the back. Now, yeah, that's a tough spot right there. That might have been the player that I highlighted earlier that you have to be careful of. But once again, I have two things right here. First of all, console players, you do need to keep your distance, but this is still a little bit too far distance-wise. So what I mean by that is he's going to take this shot, and I would really not take that unless I can get the headshot. Instead, I'm just going to go ahead and push up. I'm going to use my SMG and keep that element of surprise, right? That element of surprise, as long as you're anticipating, really gives you a huge advantage, potentially a full broken player advantage if you can anticipate well and hit your shots. Now, all of a sudden, he not only does he does basically two things right here. He gives away his location to the guy in the house because he sniped at that person. He also gives away his location to players that are around him because of the audio cue of somebody sniping, right? If we're going to use that to our advantage, you also have to be aware that other players can use that to their advantage to know exactly where you are. So he's going to pull all the way back. We're once again going to see a position here where he never re-engages, right? That person, the way I view that situation that just happened right there, good shots right there, using aim and movement to be able to kind of win that gunfight. The way I view this is you just gave away your positioning to me. Now I know exactly where you are. You just told me that you're down below. So as soon as I replay it, I'm going to go ahead and challenge you, and I'm going to have confidence in myself to be able to execute, and I'm going to find you somewhere, and I'm going to be able to kill you. That's where that confidence component comes into play. You know, information plus execution. I have information that you're in this general vicinity, and I'm going to go and execute on that. Now, my average and above average players continue to work on your execution, continue to work on your aim and movement so that you can win those gunfights without having to worry about anything. You can have confidence in yourself to be able to win those gunfights, because that's where a lot of you struggle. You don't re-engage because you're not confident in yourself to actually win that gunfight because they shot you first. Even though right now you can go back and challenge them and you shoot them first. So that's, I think, where a lot of you struggle. 9 kills, 22 others. And by the way, he's on 20 bomb pace right here. 20 bomb pace, as always, 6 in the first, 6 in the second, 4 in the third, 4 in endgame. So he's 3 short of 20 bomb pace right here. But still a very healthy lobby for solos. Now, once again, gets caught a little bit out in the open, but he pulls back. Let's go see if he acts on this. He should act on this information right here that there's people in this building. Now, he's jumping around corners. I would recommend slide canceling around corners. It's a little bit of a better movement, allows you to play a little bit quicker, allows your enemy to not see you coming as clearly. Does he not engage this at all? So he gets that guy flying in. This is another great example. So he never actually engages this player that was, I don't know why I rewound that, sorry about that. He never re-engages the player that was behind him. I originally was going to rewind it all the way back, and I was like, that's a little bit of a long time. So he never actually engages that person behind him, even though he knows he's in this building straight ahead, or he was in this building straight ahead. So that's where the moment a lot of you don't know exactly where the person is, you panic, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't push that. Whereas for me, I'm just clearing and anticipating corners, and I'm just going to figure out where that person actually is. And if he shoots me first, that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and slide cancel away. I'm gonna replate, I'm gonna re-engage, and then I'm gonna once again execute and anticipate. And I know it's easier said than done, guys. I 100% am aware of that it's easier said than done. But these are things that as you improve your aim and movement, you're able to start winning these gunfights a little bit more, and now you have more confidence to go challenge these. Now he sees this guy, now he's gonna go and act. I'm okay with that sniper shot. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Just be aware that you are now giving away your location. You're not giving away on the mini-map because your Car 98 is silenced, but it still makes a very loud noise right there. Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and push down here. No plates, so he's got to... Yeah, he should have went and bought plates. Over aggressive. I love the challenge. It's not a bad challenge, but I think you gotta play this a little bit more strategic and buy plates here. He's able to get this kill, which is good. You know what? That's where I draw the line. I would not challenge this second guy because I know I don't have plates. And even though he almost kills that guy, he loses that simply because he doesn't have plates. All he needed was a plate and he wins that gunfight. And now he's gonna be able to... No, he doesn't self-revive. That guy's gonna get the thirst, which is unfortunate. Just a little bit over aggressive right there. And that's where, you know, you just make that small miscalculation, that small bad decision, and then you get put in a tough spot. Now, this is where he really does make a bad decision that we really need to learn from, because a lot of you do this, is being over aggressive. Right, so he's gonna grab loadout, which, as I've said, you know, that's the #1 thing you have to do to regain. But he's got 26 seconds until his respawn is back alive, right? Until he flies back in. And he ends up just getting a little bit too over aggressive here. I would probably play a little bit more patient. I would grab up that plate. I wouldn't even circle back right here. Yep, so he ends up going down from that player. He might have heard that guy, but you've got to be really careful about this moment right here, because you're running around, you're giving people footsteps, yet you're not anywhere close to being able to challenge, or you're at least not able to respawn if you do go down. So that's an unfortunate death right there. He ends up finishing this game in 12th place, I think. Yep, which, you know, it is what it is. We learn from the mistakes that he makes. So I hope you found today's video helpful. As I always say, let's get better today, and I will see you tomorrow.